Some ships, many linked with Iran, are moving through the Strait of Hormuz today, despite President Trump's blockade of Iranian ports. The first ship to pass through the waterway since the partial stoppage began yesterday morning was a U.S.-sanctioned Chinese tanker. Now, the Strait of Hormuz, as we've been telling you, is a major sticking point in negotiations between the U.S. and Iran. The two people familiar with the discussions tell NBC News those talks could resume as early as this week. Now, this is all coming as Beijing is criticizing U.S. action in the region, with Chinese President Xi Jinping saying that the world cannot, quote, return to the law of the jungle. China is also now denying reports that it is arming Iran, saying that it would impose countermeasures if Trump imposes additional 50% tariffs on China due to that allegation. NBC News International correspondent Matt Bradley joins me now from Tel Aviv, Israel. So, Matt, China's president is also suggesting 4 proposals for peace. So what is in the Chinese plan here?
Yeah, so these 4 ideas are coming out from China, who's not necessarily the best interlocutor, but who has had some diplomatic success in the Middle East. You don't often think of China as doing a lot of wheeling and dealing in the Middle East on the diplomatic side, mostly on the business side. But lately, they've been doing more. They actually have been negotiating between Hamas and Fatah in the Gaza Strip, and they've been negotiating successfully between the Saudis and the Iranians before this war and before the war last June. So these 4 proposals from the Chinese are the principle of peaceful coexistence, the principle of national sovereignty, the principle of international rule of law, and to uphold coordinated approach to development and security. So these are their 4 ideas to try to bring this war to a halt. But there are still, as you mentioned, some hope that the actual current track of negotiations will be able to continue. So it's unclear where China's proposal fits in.
Matt, speaking of that current track of negotiations, Israel and Lebanon, they're talking right now. What do we know about those conversations as we're seeing more countries now pushing for Lebanon to be included in the overall ceasefire deal?
That's right. And actually, those diplomats just sat down in Washington, D.C. So this is basically a meeting between Marco Rubio, who's going to be running this meeting. Remember, he was left out of those negotiations in Pakistan. He is going to be attending the meeting along with the U.S. ambassador to Israel. And then we're going to be seeing the Israeli ambassador to Washington meeting with the Lebanese ambassador to Washington. So these aren't very high-level negotiations, but they do show that the two countries are meeting at an official capacity, and that has been controversial inside Lebanon. Hezbollah has said not to do these negotiations.
All right, Matt Bradley, live in Tel Aviv. Matt, thank you.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.